Hi, my name is Natasha and I work at the Southeast Regional Centre for Urban Land Care, otherwise known as Circle. Today I'm going to be talking about the different ways the Aboriginal people of the southwest of Western Australia, the Noongar people, used plants. Noongars are Aboriginal Australian people who live in the southwest corner of Western Australia and whose family members were the first people to live there. Noongars have lived in the southwest of Western Australia for 45,000 years. The Noongar nation is made up of 14 groups of Noongars who each speak a different language and live in different areas of the southwest. People from overseas didn't arrive in the southwest until 1826. Plants that grow naturally in the southwest of Western Australia were used by Noongars for food or bush tucker, medicine, and survival purposes. We are going to describe some of the ways they used these plants in the slides coming up. When Europeans came to the southwest of Western Australia in 1826, they brought a way of understanding the seasons from their home countries in Europe. Today, when most people think of the seasons, they still think of the four seasons of summer, autumn, winter, and spring. Each of these seasons occurs during certain months of the year. Noongars, however, follow 6 seasons that explain the changes we see in the local environment throughout the year. These seasons are known as Barak, Bunuroo, Jiran, Makaroo, Jilba, and Kumbarang. Each season occurs over about 2 months of the year, although really they can be longer or shorter depending on what is happening in the environment. I'll be showing you plants used during each of these seasons over the coming slides. Barak occurs around December to January during what is commonly known as summer. This season is hot and dry with no rain. Barak is represented by the colour red, as it is the colour for heat, the sun, and fire. The Christmas tree comes into flower at the beginning of Barak. During this time, the Whadjuk Noongar people, who lived in and around the Perth region, used to move along the river towards the coast. One of the plants used during Barak is coastal pigface. It covers large areas of the ground. After flowering, the fruit appears and can be eaten. The leaves can also be boiled and eaten as greens. Juice from the leaves can be used as a medicine to treat stings, scalds, or burns. The bull Banksia is another plant used during Barak. The flowers were soaked in water to make a sweet drink. The nectar could also be sucked directly from the flower. Grubs which burrow into the flower spikes were gathered and eaten, and seed cones were used to carry fire from place to place throughout the year. To do this, they placed the seed cones in the fire for a while before removing them and blowing out the flames. They then wrapped them in animal skin or the bark from the paperbark tree and then carried them as smouldering coal as they travelled. Bunuroo occurs around February to March during what is commonly referred to as summer and autumn. This season is hot and dry. Bunuroo is represented by the colour orange due to the abundance of fishing and lack of rain. It is a time of the white flowers, with lots of white flowering gums in full bloom, including jarrah, marri, and ghost gums. During this time, the Whadjuk Noongar people were located at the coast. Marri is one of the trees that blooms during Bunuroo. The white blossoms are soaked in water to make a sweet drink. Seeds from the honky nuts can be eaten or ground into flour and used to make damper, which is a form of bread. The gum that oozes out of the bark can be used as a medicine to treat an upset stomach or mixed with water and rubbed onto skin to treat eczema. Grass trees had lots of uses for Noongars. Like with many other plants, the flowers were used to make a sweet drink. Gum from flowering spikes was made into cakes, and the long dead spikes that come out of the plant were used to make fire or as a spear handle. Bardy or widgety grubs were collected from the trunks of dying trees. The black resin or sap from the trunk was used as a glue to attach spearheads to a handle or to start a fire. Bunches of leaves were used as roofs for their shelters and when dried were made into torches. Durin occurs around April to May during what is commonly called autumn. During this season it is becoming cooler and the first rains are falling. Durin is represented by the colour green as there is cooler weather and eucalyptus trees. It is a time of red flowers, especially from plants such as the red flowering gum. During Jiran, the Whadjuk Noongar people were moving towards the hills along the rivers and creeks. One of the plants used by Noongars during Jiran was the zamia. The zamia has been on Earth as long as the dinosaurs, so it is called a prehistoric plant. The seeds are poisonous and were used as food and for hunting. The poisonous seeds were only able to be used as a food by the Noongars after they did something to them to make them safe to eat. After making them safe, the soft red coating around the seed was cooked and then eaten. When people from other countries first arrived, they were poisoned by eating raw seeds. So it is important that you never eat this or any other plants you find in the bush, as you never know if they are poisonous or safe. Raw seeds were ground into a powder and used by the Noongars to stun fish, making them not able to move and so easier to catch. Makaroo occurs around June to July during what is commonly called winter. During this time it is cold and wet. Makaroo is represented by the colour blue, as it is like the rain and cold weather. The blues and purples of flowers such as the blueberry lily and purple flag come out during this season. During Makaroo, the Whadjuk Noongar people would travel inland to hunting areas located beyond the hills in the area now known as the wheat belt. One of the plants used during Makaroo was Old Man Saltbush. Its woody branches were used by Noongars to start fires and also to stop the wind blowing on them. The tiny saltbush seeds were crushed up and used to make flour for damper. Large saltbush leaves could be used to wrap meat or fish or eaten raw. These leaves taste very salty. Gilba occurs around August to September or as winter turns into spring. During this season the second rains come, but it is becoming warmer. Gilba is represented by the colours pink or light blue or purple to show that wildflowers and plants are growing. During Gilba, plants begin to flower, starting with the yellow flowering plants such as the acacias. During this season, the Whadjuk Noongar stayed inland for hunting. One of the plants used during Gilba was the harsh hakea. It is called harsh because of its very spiky leaves. Once again, the nectar from the flowers was used to make a sweet drink by soaking the flower in water. The woody fruits of this plant were placed in a fire to crack them open, and then the seeds were eaten. They are said to taste like roasted almonds. The bark was burnt into a white ash that was used as a medicine to heal wounds. Kumbarang occurs around October to November or during the spring. It is the wildflower season and is getting hotter with less rain. Kumbarang is represented by the colour yellow as the hot weather is returning. The grass tree will continue to flower during this time. The Whadjuk Noongar people headed back towards the coast along the rivers and creeks during Kumbarang. The Scarlet Runner, otherwise known as the running postman, is one of the wildflowers of Kumbarang. The flowers provide a source of sweet nectar that can be sucked straight from the flower. The leaves were used to make a tea-like drink which is said to have a pleasant licorice flavour. The stems of the plant are used as a twine or rope for building or constructing things. The final plant I will describe today, and one that was also used during Kumbarang, is the coastal sword sedge. The leaves were used to make rope and string for the Noongars mayas or shelters. The white base of the leaf can be eaten raw or roasted. Circle's Phosphorus Awareness Project would like to acknowledge the Noongar people to whom the knowledge in this video should be credited. Please do not prepare bush tucker food without having been shown by an Aboriginal elder or experienced person. Some bush tucker, if eaten in large quantities or not prepared correctly, can cause illness. For more information about bush tucker plants for your garden, go to circle.org.au/our projects/bush tucker. Thank you.